Good morning, everyone. My name is Councillor Bradnam, and I'm the Vice Chair of this committee. I'd like to welcome you to the Joint Development Control Committee meeting taking place at 10 a.m. on Wednesday, the 15th of March, 2023. So, firstly, I'd like to point out that Councillor Simon Smith, who is the Chair, is unwell, which is why I am chairing this meeting. But can we go round the room just to confirm who is here and who is subbing for whom? So I'm going to start with Councillor Bagent. Lovely to see you.
I'm here.
Are you subbing for someone?
I'm Katie Paul. No, Katie
Thornborough.
Well, yeah, Katie Thornborough. Sorry.
You're subbing for Katie Thornborough.
It's very early in the morning
Thank you, members.
to be
Let's
asking
not
me
get chaotic.
questions.
Thank you. Sam Carling.
Anyway, I'm here.
Thank you. And you're here in your own right, aren't you?
I'm here, teacher.
Thank you very much. Councillor Jennifer Page-Croft.
Yes, I'm here for Councillor Flowboat.
Thank you very much. And Katie Porrer.
Yes, I'm here in my own right, thank you.
Thank you very much. Okay. But we have, Councillor Khan. Is your... Councillor Khan's microphone is...
Hello, it's Councillor Khan, I'm here.
Thank you very much. From South Cams. And Councillor Fain. Thank you very much. Councillor Richard Williams.
I'm here, Chair, representing the people of Whittlesford.
Very much. And it's just to confirm for the minutes, and Councillor Stobart.
Yeah, present, Chair.
Thank you very much. Lovely. Okay. And we have 3 members from each of the councils, so we're quorate in that regard as well. Thank you very much. So we have apologies received from City Councillors Smith and Thornborough, and we have that Councillor Bagent is attending as an alternate. Thank you. We also have our officers here at the table for the meeting. Strategic Sites Delivery Manager, Philippa Kelly. Thank you very much. Our Legal Advisor, Keith Barber. Our Committee Manager, James Goddard. And the producer today is Chris Connor. Thank you. So, copies of the agenda can be found on the City Council's website under Committee Meetings, Minutes and Agendas. Please try and refer to page and paragraph numbers within the agenda if you're referring to any specific paragraph or plan. Please ensure that you've switched off or silenced any other devices you have so that they don't interrupt proceedings. And when you're invited to address the meeting, please make sure your microphone is switched on. When you've finished addressing the meeting, please turn off your microphone immediately. Speak slowly and clearly, and please do not talk over or interrupt anyone. Please can those present in the council chamber note that anything on your desk might be broadcast and filmed at some point. The camera follows the microphone being switched on, so councillors and officers are requested just to wait a few seconds before speaking to allow the camera to catch up. And please raise your hand in the chamber if you wish to speak. Do we know if there's anybody participating via the Teams meeting? Quite a few names there.
Technical officers will be introduced.
Okay, so thank you very much. Our officers who might take part on Teams will be introduced at the time. For those people taking part online, please can you just keep your microphones and cameras off until we ask you to turn them on. Thank you. So the process for consideration of the planning application will be that the planning case officer will present the proposals and give an overview of the key issues as set out in their report. Then registered speakers will be invited to have their say. There will be 3 minutes for those speaking in support and 3 minutes for those speaking against, unless I have advised otherwise. The committee manager will ring a bell when the 3-minute time period has passed. Public speakers are unable to join in with the councillor debate. The committee will then discuss and debate the item and may ask questions of the case officer. At the end of the deliberation, I'll ask members to vote on the officer's recommendation by a show of hands. So, That's the way we conduct business. Now we move on to the substantive agenda. The second item on the agenda is, please could councillors advise if they have any declarations of interest and also identify which report their declaration refers to. Any declarations of interest? Councillor Bagent.
Yeah, I'm a member of Cambridge Cycling Campaign, Chair.
Thank you very much, Councillor Bagent. And Councillor Stobart.
By the same token, Chair, I'm also a member of Cambridge Cycling Campaign, and I've already made some comments in writing about the cycling aspects.
Thank you very much. Can I just check that the officers have those comments? They do, thank you very much. So then we come to the minutes of the meeting, this is item 3, minutes of the meeting on the 25th of January. They've been submitted to this meeting for approval. So firstly, can I just check with members, are there any matters of accuracy that you wish to raise on page 3, page 4, or page 5 of our substantive agenda? No? Okay. So can I take it that you're happy that I sign those as a true record of that meeting? Thank you. I also check that members have realised that there was an amendment sheet issued for the next item. It was issued rather late yesterday afternoon, but it's an amendment sheet relating to item 6, which looks like this, which relates to the relationship between conditions and what's been fulfilled. Have you all seen that? I think you've also been given one printed copy on your places. And if you haven't got one, there are some on the chair at the side there, so I don't know if anybody wants to just check if they've got that. I have a spare one here, if anybody would like one. Thank you. So all members are now appraised. Members, would you like 5 minutes to read through that? Yeah, can we just go offline for 5 minutes while members have a chance to read it, please? Is that okay? Thank you very much. Members, could we just give people the mental space to read and concentrate? Thank you. Councillor, I just want to let you know that on page 1 of the amendment sheet, where it says decision, that is in fact the updated recommendation, which Philippa will take us through. So just to avoid confusion.
Yeah, so Chair, could I just ask a bit of clarification on the decision? It says little note Roman numeral 1 approve. Are we not online? Okay.
Right, so can we go back online, please? Yes. Thank you very much. Thank you, members, for that pause. Just to clarify that on page 1 of the amendment sheet, where it says decision, in fact, that is the updated recommendation, which Philippa Kelly will take us through when we come to that point. Right, so Councillor Williams.
Thank you, Chair. Just a small point of clarification on the update sheet. Under decision, both on page 1 and page 2, we've got little Roman numeral 1 approve and then little Roman numeral 2 approve / not approve. I'm a bit confused about why one says approve and one says approve, not approve.
With your permission, Chair, if I could clarify that. When we come to the recommendation stage, I'll make this very clear, but in essence, this is going to be a two-stage decision that you'll be making relating to two separate planning applications because this is a cross-boundary development site. So when we come to that stage, we are approving the reserved matters element of the planning application and then to discharge or partially discharge certain planning conditions relating to the outline permission. That's why we have the little Roman numerals 1 and 2 for each of those separate planning applications that you will be voting in respect of. Hopefully that will be clear as the case officer presents the proposals, and we'll clarify the position when we reach the decision-making stage later.
And I think it simply means that some of the things that we are not going to discharge in full will be not approved. Okay? So, and that will relate to the items in the tables. Is that okay? Thank you.
Yeah, that's clear.
Okay, thank you. So we're moving on to item 4 then, which is the two related applications, 22/03137/REM and that first one relates to the part of the application that is in South Cambs. And the second one, 22/03140/REM, relates to the part of the application that is in the city. So, before I ask the Principal Planning Officer to introduce this item, I'd like to take this opportunity to remind members that this item relates to a cross-authority development. As such, two separate planning applications have been submitted to the respective local planning authorities. That is why we have the two separate numbers. But they relate to matters which affect both parts of the plan. The separation of the two application numbers is for administrative purposes only. The development proposed should be considered as a single entity unless specific issues arise which relate solely to land either in South Cambs or in city only. So you'll understand that the purposes of the two applications is simply so that each of the authorities can discharge their responsibilities to their part of the application. So I'm going to ask the Principal Planning Officer, Rebecca Ward, to introduce the item. Thank you, Rebecca.
Thank you, Chair. I'm just going to share my screen so then the presentation. Okay, perfect. Thank you, Chair. So yes, my name's Rebecca Ward and I'm the Principal Planner and Case Officer on this application. Joining me on the screen is Sarah Chubb, who's the Principal Urban Design Officer, Helen Sayers, who's the Landscape Design Officer from the Greater Cambridgeshire Planning Service, and then there's John Finney from the County Council Highways Authority. So they'll be kind of helping answer any questions, hopefully after the presentation. Just to say that I did receive a few comments from members over the past few days, and I've tried to incorporate them into my presentation. So hopefully I'll be able to cover everything, but if not, feel free to ask the questions again, and yeah, we'll go from there. So Bellway Latimer LLP have submitted a reserve matters application for infrastructure on the land north of Cherry Hinton. Like Councillor Bradnam said, it's a cross-boundary site, part of the site being in the Cherry Hinton ward and part of the site being in the Teversham Parish Council ward. On the back of officer advice, Pollard Thomas Edwards, who wrote the design code for this site, have been retained and have been working on the infrastructure application. And this just has helped lead a more holistic design-led approach and has helped us transition through to the more detail, putting kind of people at the kind of the heart of the design process. So in terms of the proposal, so we're looking at reserve matters application for the appearance, landscape, layout and scale of infrastructure works, including the internal roads, pumping stations, cycleways, pedestrian routes, landscape and drainage. And this is following the condition 2 on the outline consent. We're also looking to partially discharge a series of planning conditions that were on the outline, and they require details to be submitted with the reserve matters application to cover them. And we're also looking to discharge one of them in full, which is 23, which is the strategic drainage condition. But I'll kind of come on to them a bit more as we go on. So in terms of the amendment sheet, so the amendment sheet was sent around yesterday, which you've just had now. Effectively, it's just referring to the two applications that need to be, and the decisions that need to be made on them both. So yeah, and the other addition is just in terms of the planning conditions. Just some slight updates. So I'm going to update the timescale on condition 1 before it's determined, and that will be consistent with the timescales in the outline consent. And then I do need to add an additional condition, which is condition 19 for fire hydrants, just because I missed it off my list. So I've put the condition wording up there, and we'll include that. Okay, so in terms of key planning stages and where we're at with this development, so outline planning permission was secured in 2020, and subsequent to this, Bellway Latimer purchased the site and have been developing the design code and the subsequent section 73, which was both approved by members in August and September last year. We've been working on this RMA for infrastructure in parallel with these applications, just to ensure the principles secured within the design code have kind of followed through. And alongside this, we've also been developing the site-wide play strategy as well, which has kind of started to help inform the play across the site. In November, we approved a sales and marketing suite on the site, and the submission of the RMA3 for the first residential parcel was submitted to us back in November, and that's currently under consideration, and eventually will come to planning committee to be determined as well. Just to give a bit of an outline, a recap. So the outline, like I said, was approved in 2020. There was a Section 106 legal agreement that was attached to it. It gave permission for up to 1,200 mixed tenure homes. There was a minimum of 40% affordable homes on site. There was a local centre, primary school, secondary school. It was important that there would be a road connecting the Coldhams Lane to the Cherry Hinton Road, and 3 access points into the site were approved in full at that stage. Open space was also approved, and play spaces, and the surface water drainage system was considered to be integrated into the green infrastructure strategy at that time. And just on the pictures on the screen, the top one was just the master plan, indicative master plan at the time that outline was granted. And then the 2 plans at the bottom are just the allocation plans that are in each council's local plan. So in terms of the Section 73 application that we considered back in the summer, so the parameter plans were revised to improve the local centre and green links. There was additional open space, so it's gone from about 14 hectares up to about 16 hectares. There was a change to the energy and sustainability approach. There was some changes to the tenures of the homes, and the character areas were reduced from 6 to 3 to take into account the scale of the scheme. So we considered them to be some really positive moves that have helped kind of shape this infrastructure scheme. We then went on to look at the design code in September. We approved an exemplar, highly livable and sustainable development. And this document really centred around the concept of the living infrastructure. We wanted people to kind of enjoy this, have access to open spaces and be able to enjoy them. So the main principles we've secured was a strong sense of place and community focus. Everything on the site would be within walking distance. Public spaces will bring people closer to nature to create an attractive and climate resilient environment. There was a key aim to reduce the car use on the site, so the streets needed to be designed that will put people first, and to keep traffic speeds to a low by designing it out. There would be a network of dedicated cycle routes and footpaths and walking to really connect the site, not only inside the site but also to the wider network. This was just the design code kind of framework plan, so it's a kind of an indicative master plan that was come up in the code. So in the centre there you can see kind of the local centre and shops. We've got the primary school. The parks and open spaces are in green, and they're kind of strategically located close to homes, and will connect to each other, so people can access them easily. And the SUDs and green infrastructure will be within them spaces as well. In terms of the reserve matter application and phasing, so the developer intends to split the phasing into 8 different parcels, and then a further 2 applications will come forward from the primary school and the secondary school. So the first application that has been submitted covers the area in yellow that you can see on this plan, so just the lighter shade. And as mentioned previously, it includes all the key pieces of infrastructure, such as the primary road, the secondary road, the larger open spaces and the drainage system. And then the small applications, as you can see in some of the purple, pink kind of colours, will come forward for the residential parcels. The first one being the purple one to the bottom, bottom right. So in terms of the site location, so this is the site location plan that was submitted with this reserve matters. So it really just covers the infrastructure areas. The key principles of the landscape design that were previously set out in the code followed this, like I said, living infrastructure approach. These principles have been discussed with officers and with technical consultees and kind of high-level concept sketches. Oh, I think I'm going... Sorry, I'm going off piece a little bit. Sorry, I'll just go back. I'll start this slide again. The infrastructure covers a large area, as you can see. The key principles for the landscape design followed the living infrastructure approach. The infrastructure has therefore been split into 10 different zones, each having a different character to align with the design code. So we've got the village green there in the heart, and then we've got the other parks to the edges. This is the proposed landscape. There we go. The proposed landscape master plan. So it's quite a detailed plan, but I'm just going to take you through the approach, and then I'll zoom in on some of the specific areas on here to give you some of the detail. So like I said, we've been following this living infrastructure approach with officers and the landscape architects. There has been a series of concept sketches, like you can see in the left-hand corner, that really starts to kind of connect these spaces up. The design ideas that were presented and worked up to another level, but also considering the kind of key opportunities associated with the site sub-strategy. Substantial cycle and walking infrastructure are proposed that are compliant with LTN 120. This reflects the active travel framework for the code and creates the new strategic routes between different parts of the site. And everyone on the development will have the potential to walk to the local centre, which is in the heart, within 10 minutes. Regarding the airport and landscape evolution, the Section 106 and condition on the outline application requires an open space maintenance and management strategy, and we'll be looking for a review of the landscape management arrangements to be built into this. So as and when the airport moves, we can adapt the landscape so trees can grow taller and we can plant some different things. The developer has also committed to reviewing this, and yeah, we can't secure monetary contributions, but yeah, we can secure it through that process. In terms of the tree strategy for the infrastructure application, so street trees line the primary street and the secondary street. The streets include a mix of primarily native